Welcome everybody, and ThreatMetrix is the leader in digital authentication. I'm excited to talk to you more about what's new with ThreatMetrix. You may already know a little bit about the Digital Identity Network, and every month our customers make millions of real-time decisions using a global scale network. These decisions are informed by billions and billions of anonymous data points that coalesce into natural patterns of behavior, both good and bad. Our customers truly have a top-down view of how the world transacts on the internet. The depth of our capabilities is enormous, actually too large to list. And digital identity networks is used around the world to build the best-in-breed solutions to most challenging identity, authentication, and payment challenges. If you've accessed an online banking account, shopped online, used a car or home sharing app, joined a social network, sent an electronic payment, or applied for a loan, it's likely that ThreatMetrix was involved in helping you provide you with a high trust and friction-free experience. Hundreds of signals go into establishing this trust. Malware scanning, behavioral analysis, device fingerprinting, and tamper-proof detection. The list goes on. The ThreatMetrix continually invests in creating better network and a better solution for our customers. We face the classic challenge of adding depth and capability without adding complexity. After all, we're talking about billions of events with hundreds of data points linked across thousands of customers in dozens of industries right around the world. Now, how do we go about making something like this simple? We're excited to introduce ThreatMetrix ID. Finally, a single identifier. That's why I'm excited to talk to you about ThreatMetrix ID. Put simply, ThreatMetrix ID gives you a single identifier for the persona on a network. No calculation or abstraction. One ID, one persona. With it comes a rich view of their behavior and reputation across every corner of the internet. ThreatMetrix ID is an incredible tool for investigating and targeting. This allows you to effortlessly target and investigate good and bad personas. Let's talk about a few. New accounts. The visualization of ThreatMetrix ID shows a new user signing up nothing more than an email address. But with it comes deep associations with transactions on the digital identity network. The nodes filled with the blue and the green represent the pieces of digital ID you've seen in your transactions. But the nodes with the white background represent the ThreatMetrix ID. Looking at the risk scores of every component of the ThreatMetrix ID, we are mostly positive rating. Now let's look at a returning user. Compared to a new user, a returning user has a tight cluster of nodes specific to you and some activity elsewhere on the internet. This is a representation of the email node and the white background. Let's look at a synthetic user. In a sharp contrast, notice the clean lines and the short age of the synthetic identity. As we saw here, a real-life typical identity isn't this tidy. And while now the low age of each node isn't high risk on its own, the digital ID carries a heightened amount of risk. The loan application was recommended for additional screening in this case. All of these samples were allowing a base off of a real data of our network, by the way. That's what we've just shown you is subtly between someone who's new and someone who's trying to look new. That's the precision and power of how ThreatMetrix establishes trust on the internet. And now that's enough subtly from the demonstration, and you want to see how real monsters on the internet really operate. High-risk personas. When you're looking at an individual or perhaps a group using a single machine that lives on a dangerous part of the world, it looks like this. They're using stolen credit card details to buy electronics and other high-value goods, in this case in the US, and having them shipped and drop houses, where these high-value goods are then transferred through intermediaries waiting to collect them and reship them overseas. Notice that only one address is local in this customer, but this same persona has attempted to ship goods to other customers over a dozen unique houses. Now we're going to look at a malicious behaviour on the internet. What we're looking at here is someone trying to be clever and creating a script to test credentials. And we're leaked by a breach. And we see lots of breaches, and I saw lots of people talking about this earlier in yesterday's comments. They go through great lengths to try to conceal their attack, using a special attack tool to re-image and randomize these devices to conceal the fact that a single device is trying to log in with so many email addresses. ThreatMetrix ID easily exposes this attack from what it really is. The end user's account is predicted and protected from day zero. These visualizations are just part of ThreatMetrix ID. Our real-time engine allows you to adjust to emerging patterns and behaviors over on the fly and to deploy in seconds, and our integrated reporting allows you to glean answers from billions of events quickly as you can ask the question. So this does conclude our stage demo, but please feel free to bring your questions to me or to my team today. Thank you.